My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
At the UPS Store, we ensure your small biz stands out with a variety of high-quality paper stock options, banners, posters, brochures, and more. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Hi, ladies. It's so nice to see you.
Hi. Oh, we lost one.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. I forgot.
It's me. I'm still here.
She's here. Here I am.
Can't ever lose that one.
Thank God. Nicole, you
Hi.
look so tan.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you look beautiful.
Hawaiian tropics.
Yeah. We were frolicking in the ocean for so long, and I came out and my skin was bright red because I get really red at first, but then it turns into a tan like 5 minutes later. But even with all my sunblock, I came out of the ocean and Chris was like, are you okay? It's like, yeah, just please don't touch me. Don't let your beard anywhere near my red piping hot skin.
I loved your luau video. I was cracking up. I definitely rewatched it like several times.
My Hawaiian roller coaster ride, hula dancing.
Yes.
I didn't get to see it. Send it to me. I missed
It's so funny.
You have to watch Chris's Instagram, Kirsten, because your algorithm seems to hate him.
I mean, my algorithm is horrible right now. Instagram is just, I do not like it. So yeah, I'm going to put him back in my algorithm. I'm going to go watch it.
My client said something today. One of the clients in the salon was talking about how she created a new Instagram account. And listen, no hate to the Married at First Sight followers. I love your support, but I don't see like hardly any of my friends because mine's all hair. It's not even Married at First Sight people, but my algorithm, same thing. I'm like, I'm going to create an account and just have like 30 followers that are friends. I can just see what's going on in their life.
Yes, you can see what you actually want to see. I mean, mine is all Love Island right now still, but Chris's is Love Island and Sharks. Those are the two things that he's been looking up because I looked at his phone the other day. It's like, what's on your For You page? And it's just all Love Island and Sharks. He wanted to see one in Hawaii, and I was not down for that.
Oh, wow. Mine is mostly fashion, food, real estate. That's all that's on my algorithm right now. I don't see any of my friends either, but I don't have any sharks on my page right now. Did y'all have fun going to go see the sharks while y'all were in Hawaii?
We did not see the sharks. Thank you very much. I would be terrified
mortified. No.
If we kept looking in the ocean. He's like, I'm just looking for a shark tooth. Like, no, you are not. But we saw sea turtles, and our resort had penguins. So every morning and every night we would go and say hi to the penguins, and I was pretending they were our dogs. I don't know how this man puts up with me, but I miss the dog. So I would see the big fat penguin. I'm like, hi, Coda, and he would turn around.
Penguins feel like out of territory in Hawaii? Aren't penguins winter animals?
These are African penguins, and apparently there's a few species of penguins that live in very warm climates. But we saw flamingos. We were near this place called Whalers Village, and it was the old whaling town, and we just went and saw the sunset our last night, and it was just so beautiful. I mean, we've been really busy lately, so we haven't taken a lot of time just for ourselves. We've just been in kind of go mode, and it was really nice to reconnect. I will say that the jet lag struggle is real.
Mm-hmm.
We were up at like 3, 4, 5 a.m. every day we were there. And now that we're back, I don't even know what time it is. And we got back at 2 a.m. Nashville time. And at 5 p.m. that same day, Chris had to fly to Seattle for work. So he probably thinks
Struggling.
Yeah, because it's like a 5-hour difference, right?
Yeah, it's 5
Yeah.
hours. But we were only there for really 3 full days. So we never got on the Hawaii time. And now that we're back, I'm kind of in between Hawaii and Nashville. So I don't know. But I thought today was Monday. It's apparently not.
This sounds like my standard week, no matter where I'm at.
Don't go to
Me
Hawaii then.
too.
You
All
will
my
be-
days run together.
Speaking of fun animals, have you guys seen our latest critter at Slay Bae?
No. What?
What type of critter do y'all have, Gina?
Okay,
Critter.
so funny. Okay, so Leanne, my like sweet Leanne, she apprenticed with me, like assisted for a year. She's actually done this week.
my
Like,
God.
last week I could cry. I'm so sad, but she's staying at Slay Bae, but she's still not like tied to my hip every day. So Leanne loves collecting different types of animals. Typically they don't stay alive. So we're like, this one's coming to Slay Bae. We're keeping it. And it's I don't even know if I'm going to say it right, like Salcutta tortoise. It's I'm telling you, it looks like a little turtle and it literally sits in our hand. It is so small.
Where did she find this?
She got it at the Nashville Aquatic Critter. You can buy them. They are, let me just tell you, they're only $200. These tortoises, turtles are illegal to own in the state of Tennessee because they can carry disease like salmonella and stuff. Tortoises do not, and they end up looking like dinosaurs. First off, they outlive you. So they live to be like 150 years old. So she's going to have to leave this tortoise in her will.
Oh my
And
God.
secondly, it gets up to 150 pounds. So it's like a backyard animal, but it takes a really long time to grow. So right now it is tiny. Like Hank met him. His name's Fig. Hank met him and he was like trying to boop him because he thought it was a toy.
Did he try to eat him?
It? No, he was actually kind of scared of him, but he like would kind of nudge him with his nose and the little thing would go flying.
Oh my goodness.
So we have him, and this past weekend, she had this client in that like is a salon client that drives down like 2 hours. I think she found me on Instagram, but she drives down 2 hours to get her hair done, and she lives on this farm in Indiana, and her husband just buy really like funny animals. So they have a miniature cow, they've got little goats, like all these things. And she was like, I have to have one of these tortoises. She was like, I have to have it. Like, I'm so excited. So we literally call the Nashville Aquatic Critter on Saturday and we ask, we're like, can you like DoorDash this tortoise? Or, I mean, it's literally like half a pound. It's the tiniest thing I've ever seen. And it eats like so slow.
I have a question. What are y'all feeding this little baby tortoise, Mr. Little Figs?
Little Fig, actually he can eat figs, but to wrap up what I was just saying, so we call this place and we're like, I wonder if we can DoorDash it. And the guy is like, I don't know if he manages the store, but he agreed to bring the tortoise to the salon.
Oh, wow.
So our client ends up getting one and she is so excited. I got to text her and see what she named him because she literally took him home.
That's so cool.
But we feed him, I mean, we Google stuff typically because he can eat like lettuce and plants. And she was asking for melon. Leanne was like, do we have any melon? And I was like, oh yeah, I've got fruit in there. But it was like blueberries, kiwi, pineapple. And she's like, oh, he can't have any of that. And we looked it up. We were like, but he can't have strawberries.
Huh.
So it does take him like
knew?
3 days to eat one strawberry. But he is the tiny, like, it's so funny.
Oh, you'll have to send us a picture.
Today we had a client come in and she brought her daughter who's like 3, and her daughter has this cute little pearl purse, and she has all these little miniature like dogs, cats, lollipops, all these things in her purse. So she dumps her purse out and she like places them in a row like outside, and we literally put Fig in front of all these little creatures, and he kept like crawling to each one and would like check it out and crawl to the next one. We're like, you're with your friend.
So cute.
We're going to make him a little atrium in the salon. I don't know, like a little area. Don't tell State Board.
Y'all having fun with Fig.
Oh, he's so cute.
Make him an Instagram page. Fun time with Fig.
You guys got to look up these tortoises because they don't grow. I guess they grow like 10% each year. So it's like legitimately like this big.
Aww.
And his little head like comes out of his shell. It's so cute. And then you can look up ones of them full grown. And there's like, Leanne showed me this one of this man walking his tortoise. And it looked like it was like 300 pounds. And he had it on a leash. And it was wearing a hat.
Chris's oldest brother and his wife, they have a giant tortoise that lives in their garage. It's got to be like 80-something pounds.
I bet it's the same thing. Yeah.
Probably. And I don't forget how old the tortoise is now, but it's not old enough that like it will probably outlive everyone. And I'm like, are you just going to keep him until he's, until you have to leave him in your will? And they said they'll keep him until he gets too big for them to pick him up and put him in the car. And then because if he has to go anywhere.
150 pounds, that's a lot. You probably have to get like 2 people to hold it.
Yeah.
But they're very friendly.
They'll send him to an animal sanctuary once he gets too big for them. But he just lives in the garage. He has like half the garage to himself. He walks around. He does eat pineapple, like the fresh pineapples that she was growing, which I don't know if he's supposed to or not, but
maybe you have to, your stomach has to get to where it can like eat those. Right now Fig is on baby food.
Yeah.
And so he's just a little guy. He's not ready for the acidic fruits quite yet. The things you never even knew existed. How did I miss this? I really want this tortoise, but I don't have the backyard for it.
You don't need a tortoise right now. I'm just going to say that.
He can stay at Slay Bae anyway. So we were looking up, there's like bougie websites for animal aquariums and stuff. And we were like, oh, are we going to get him like a marble rock? Like get him something that looks like very salon aesthetic for his, what is it? It's not an aquarium. What's the other
Terrarium?
one? Terrarium.
Wow. Give him some extensions maybe?
Okay.
I was like, can these turtles like process thoughts? And then today when we were watching him walk from like little like plastic animal to the next one, we were like, oh my God, he like knows where he's going. And he's like, is he having conversations with these little plastic people and moving to the next one? We were like, this is interesting.
Maybe. Kirsten, how was your week?
I actually had a decent week. It was pretty relaxing, just meetings, and I went to a women's empowerment brunch, which was a great time, even though it was the last one. So it's just always such a good feeling to feel empowered by some of the women and leaders here in Nashville, and a lot of people who advocate for equality here. So I was invited by a friend. I was just so happy that she invited me. I went last year, and then I attended again this year. So that was fun. And then I had open house, and I went to church, my usual Sunday schedule.
Usual Sunday routine. Was that brunch where you wore that beautiful purple dress?
That's what I was just going to say.
Yes.
I was like, Chris was going through his Instagram. I was like, is that Kerry Washington? He's like, that's Kirsten.
Yeah, that dress.
Yeah, that dress, it was so pretty. I didn't want to take it off. And we had went to multiple places that day after the brunch too. The dress was lovely, and it fit so well. I was like, and it was such a pretty color, like that lavender color.
Yeah, that's your color.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies. Well, thank you. And then on Sunday, I came home. I made some spaghetti squash. It was delicious. That was my first time making it. And I put some marinara in there with some tomatoes and mozzarella cheese and made some bourbon salmon. So that was like,
wow.
I know, right?
I need to make my boo eat a spaghetti squash because he's not a vegetable guy, but he likes cooked vegetables. But every time I offer spaghetti squash, he's like, ugh, no.
Does he like zucchini?
I don't actually know. I feel like he's tried more vegetables, I think, with me. He likes like every cooked vegetable we ever make.
Well, he likes to grill, right?
Yeah. Yes.
He grills some zucchini and squash, y'all. When I tell y'all grilled zucchini and squash is so delicious with some olive oil, salt, and pepper on there.
So good. Yeah, we'll do that. We're getting into fall, y'all.
No, not yet. I'm not ready.
I know. How is your meatloaf?
I love fall. I can't wait. The meatloaf, I was like pleasantly surprised. We're actually eating it again tonight. I feel like most people are meatloaf haters, and that's okay. You don't have to like meatloaf. I typically, one of my favorite, I guess she would be I guess she's not like technically a chef, but the Pioneer Woman, do you guys look
Oh,
up her
yeah.
recipes? Hers are always the best. Kirsten, if you haven't heard of her, you should look.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
going
she
to
can
check her out.
sponsor it.
Yeah. Hey, Pioneer London, please sponsor us. Thank you.
So anytime I want like to cook something, I'll like type in what it is and then look and see if the Pioneer Woman has a recipe. She's like known, I feel like, for Southern fare.
Like very home style, like comfort foods. That's how I think of her.
So I was pleasantly surprised. At first, my boo's like, "Why do you need white bread?" Because he had bought some bread at the store, and I was like, "Because it calls for white bread." He's like, "In meatloaf, so you literally put in like 6 pieces of white bread and soak it in milk, and then add all like the meat to it, and then eggs and all that stuff." And I literally like handmade the loaf and pretty much had to create a broiler pan because we don't own one, and I wrapped it in bacon. Topped it with this sauce that was basically like brown sugar, ketchup, and I added some of our like spicy barbecue sauce to it.
Okay, Gina.
It was fire.
Bring us some to the salon tomorrow.
I actually can. I have so much extra. I doubt we're gonna eat it all. So
It sounds delicious. Oh my gosh. I've never heard of a recipe like that before. I'm looking on the website right now so I can find me some more recipes to cook
they've
too.
got good. Anything you think about, like just type, spaghetti squash, Pioneer Woman. Like I find all my recipes.
Wow.
Check you out being so domesticated this week.
Here we are. Yeah, I'm trying.
Go girl.
I'm so proud. Well, I'm
Thanks.
frolicking on the beach.
You deserve it, Nicole.
You do deserve it. And we booked I was partly jealous of your trip, but also just had like an off day Friday. So we ended up booking a cruise.
Where's it going?
We're doing the Bahamas and Cozumel.
Who are y'all cruising with?
Royal Caribbean.
Oh, yeah. My dad cruised with them before. I'm actually going on a cruise with my family too in November, but we're cruising with Carnival Cruise and we're going to the Bahamas. I wish we was going to Cozumel, but that's going to be nice for you and your man.
Yeah.
I know. And I didn't know that these cruise liners have I don't know if this is just Royal Caribbean. This is my first cruise. I've never been on one before.
Me either.
You haven't?
No.
I love cruises, you guys.
Wait, what did you cruise to, Nicole?
Do you not remember we got our nails done last week and had an hour-long conversation about cruises?
Oh my gosh, we did.
You're like my husband.
I feel awful.
No, it's okay. No, my mom is a big cruise gal. So when we were younger, that was like our family vacation was cruises. So I've actually never been on one as an adult.
See, yeah, that's what you tell me. That's probably why my mind didn't register again.
But
Yeah.
I love them because I don't like to sit in the same place for too long. So I love that every day would be a new stop and you go on a special excursion. And then on the boat, there's so many things. So I feel like it's entertainment overload, which I love for a few days. So I think you'll enjoy it. You can get to dress up and
Oh my gosh.
be really fancy.
It looks crazy. This cruise has like a mall.
That's what my dad said. He sent me videos.
Like Vegas style shows every night. Like it's insane.
I know. Well, so the Royal Caribbean, I don't know if this was happening when you were a kid, but they built the island that you go to in the Bahamas, which I had assumed that we just go to a stop in the Bahamas and like explore the town and lay out. Well, this island is like the Royal Caribbean owns the island. So it's called Coco Cay, but it's in the Bahamas. So like then everything on the island is still a part of the cruise, but you're docked. I'm like, that is crazy. So you don't everything translates into the island. You're just on land instead.
Just don't, and I know you won't because you're you, but just don't miss the boat because it will leave without you at the end of the day. I know you won't. If they say 6 o'clock, you'll be there at 4:59 with an hour to spare. But
you think people get left?
Absolutely.
What do? They just have to fly home from that charter to a different island with an airport and
maybe they can wait for another boat, or I'm sure there's a plan in place. Like it's not like the island closes, but the boat leaves. But I saw
Like
somewhere
Castaway.
like some kid or teenager, he got back on the boat recently, and his parents, he was like, I left them on the island because they weren't ready to leave. But yeah, don't miss the boat.
How old was he?
I think he was a teenager.
It's like Home Alone. He's probably like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, like bouncing on the beds.
Like there's a buffet 24 hours.
Yeah, running all over the cruise ship on
Oh my God.
by himself.
Yeah.
Scanning that pass on everything.
That's
He probably had his
hilarious.
little bracelet on, like, yeah.
But that'll be so fun. I'm really excited for you guys and for both of you to go on your first cruise.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to come, like, just say the word.
You're invited. It's always fun to have like something to look forward to.
Yeah, it is. Definitely come. You can come with me and my family anytime.
And I always say that as if I can really go away again. But we do next year need a couples trip. I'm saying this now so everyone can hear me, so everyone can hold us to it. We need a couples trip, even if it's like a weekend somewhere. But I think it'd be really fun to do that. And period.
Yeah.
That's it. Period. Point blank.
We could do a couples trip or a girls trip. I'm down for either.
I vote a cruise.
Yes, cruise.
Okay.
I haven't even been on a cruise and I'm already ready to go back. You know what's so funny that I also learned this week is that I don't realize, kind of like with Married at First Sight, I never paid attention to how many people actually like watch and listen. And so many of my friends, like even my friend Reagan, shout out Reagan, today texted me and was like, oh yeah, my client was telling me about how Hank might need a $4,000 tooth. She heard it on your podcast. And I was like, so my friends are like catching up with me, but then their clients are telling them what's happening in my life because
That's
they're
so
listening to it
funny.
on the podcast. And then like one of my friends / clients came in, and every story I would tell her, she'd be like, oh no, I know. I heard about it on the podcast. So like people are truly listening.
Well, thank
and they're
you.
they're updated on our lives. And it's funny. I'm like, oh, like she would respond and be like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, do we talk about this? And she's like, oh, no, but I listen to your podcast every day because I feel like I don't get to catch up with you enough. So this is like my way of feeling like we're kind of having a conversation while she's going on walks every day.
Aw, that's so sweet.
That's sweet.
I did just want to say that I appreciate like everybody that has been supporting us and listening to our podcast and like commenting on Instagram, saying how much they love our podcast and texting us, and like even the text messages I shared with y'all this morning from like two of my friends. They're like, oh my gosh, I love the podcast. And like even a guy was listening to our podcast. He was like, so many women, I think it was more so the body. He listened to like all of them and made it down to like the body image and shaming and all of that. And he was like, so many women face the same challenges y'all are talking about on the podcast. I love this for y'all. Keep up the great work. I was like, oh, thank you so much. And I couldn't wait to share it with y'all. So yes, definitely like a big shout out to all of our friends and families and followers for like sticking with us. You know, we started at episode 1, just barely making it, and now we're recording episode 10. So congratulations to us too for sticking with it.
I know. I'm over here thinking we're just jibber jabbering, and apparently people like to listen.
Well, we are jibber jabbering, but I think from what I've heard, people like our banter. And I have to say, like, Chris is always an episode behind because I think he thinks he's listened to them all because he hears me talk about them. So when we were at the pool,
I'm that way.
I'm
I'm doing the episodes, and I'm actually that way. I'm like, oh yeah, we still have this one. I forgot. I'm like always one behind.
But at least you were there. He is not actually here, but I was like, listen to it at the pool. And then I've started listening to our recent episode, and I felt like you guys were there on vacation with me because even though I'm part of it, it's like girl time every time we do this. So it's just nice to hear the positive feedback because I know we have so much fun doing this, but it's nice to hear that it actually resonates with people and we're not just hearing ourselves talk for our own good.
Mm-hmm. People out there need to know about tortoises and spaghetti squash and cruises. Like we're talking about important things.
Something I do think people really want to know. This was kind of, I want to say a snafu on my part, but not really. So, you know, we actually, all of us, belated happy wedding anniversary to
oh my
all of us.
God. Thank you. I forgot I was married.
But I posted on Instagram on July 25th because that was the day that Chris and I and Kirsten got married. And July 28th is the day that we got our marriage certificate. So I posted that. Just for me, like, it's just two separate dates to celebrate. One isn't more important than the other. But I had a ton of messages like, wait, married at first sight marriages aren't real? I thought they're legal marriages. So I thought it would be nice if we could clear that situation up for everyone, because I feel like I started a false rumor.
Definitely legal.
Like every one of us has our wedding. We go to the courthouse a few days after the wedding to get the legal paperwork. And the only reason we don't do it prior to the wedding, when most people get their marriage certificate, is because we can't see each other. So the weddings are very legal. The divorces are very real. Right, Kirsten? You had a legal marriage and legal divorce.
Yeah, definitely legally married. And it took a long time to get a divorce, honestly. How long? It took us like a year and a half, almost 2 years to get a divorce. And we were only married, well, per the show, after decision day, we were only married for like 2 months. But no, we had the legal document. I even have a picture of us in the courthouse here in Nashville. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I went on a show and got married every time I see that picture. And then like, it was so weird because like a lady came, the officiant came, and she like, you have to go and do all of that again too. Did y'all do that?
Yeah, we have that's what I posted. I know your algorithm hates us, so it doesn't show you anything, but I posted us redoing our vows with our same wacko officiant, but
Wacko.
yeah, she was a loony lady.
But yeah, we didn't redo our vows. We just repeated whatever the officiant said. And
yeah, that's what I mean. Not like the vows we wrote, but the like, do you take so-and-so, whatever. But I was just shocked at how many people were, I guess confused is the right word, but they're like, wait, so the weddings aren't legal when you say I do? I'm like, technically no, but no marriage is legal without the legal paperwork. So the ceremony doesn't make it any less meaningful. It just is not quote unquote legal under the eyes of the law until you file your paperwork,
which we couldn't clearly do
before.
They're a stranger.
That's what I said. I said we were married for years. It took us a second to get married, and then we were married for years afterwards.
Oh my gosh, yeah. My divorce was finalized this February.
Yeah, this year. And we got married back in 2022.
I thought that they would have someone from the court like at the hotel. I don't really know how it works, if that's even an option. Like I thought they could have someone come and do the paperwork day of, but I didn't look at it as, it's not like we had the option like, oh, you don't like what you see at the end of the altar, like you don't have to go through with the legal paperwork. Like you're still getting married even if you're horrified by your spouse on your wedding night. Like I think that was a big misconception, is people were like, oh, well, what if you decide not to do it? Like there was no option.
Oh yeah, your producers are just like, okay, we're picking up at 8 a.m. You're going to sign your paperwork today.
Right,
like, oh,
because that's what we signed up for.
Right.
That is interesting that they didn't bring someone in. I would think that you just had to have like a notary.
Yeah.
Because technically like Leanne was about to get married at the library downtown. So,
well, but I think she would have had to still go to the courthouse and get her certificate and then get married and then file the certificate.
But I think she was doing that like maybe because it's a government place.
Oh, I don't know.
If it was the state library. I don't know.
All I know is everyone was legally married. Everyone from our season except Chris and I are legally divorced. And even though it's on a different day, it does not make the process any less legal. So I wanted to clarify that because I was getting so many messages. I'm like, I'm really sorry to make everyone think that it's a lie, because it's not.
It's real.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous 2-year contracts, they said, what the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass f- So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
It took a lifetime to find the person you want to marry. Finding the perfect engagement ring is a lot easier. At BlueNile.com, you can find or design the ring you've always dreamed of with help from Blue Nile's jewelry experts who are on hand 24/7 to answer questions, and the ease and convenience of shopping online. For a limited time, get $50 off your purchase of $500 or more with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com. That's $50 off with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com.
And it's almost crazier if you think about it to sign the legal paperwork, because at the wedding before you get married, you're like, all right, I signed up for this. This is going to happen. And, you get married, whatever. But at the courthouse, you know who your husband is now, and you really don't have a choice. So even if you don't feel like this is your person, it's like, well, I signed up for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign legal binding paperwork to get married. So to me, that's a little more insane, but the whole thing is insane.
We're pretty nuts.
Yeah, but I love it.
Yeah, we really are.
Well, I think at that point, everyone's still like so hopeful because it's the very beginning. So you're like, okay, I've already gone through the like craziness of the 2 weeks leading up to, and I've gotten married in front of all my friends and family. So you're like, what's a document? Like, worst case.
Yeah.
And we'll just get divorced.
You already signed so much paperwork with the show that I don't feel the marriage certificate was any more legally binding than the 9,000-page contract we signed.
Which was way worse, by the way.
It was.
That contract is real scary. So we were probably like, signed, sealed, delivered, done.
Glad we all read it. I was like, whatever, the terms and conditions, that's cool.
I actually did read most of it.
Yeah, I read part of the contract, and I was going to send it to my cousin because she is a lawyer, but I didn't send it to her. I'm like, well, it's so black and white. Like, this is what you're signing up for. Basically, they own you for however long they're going to film you for. And I saw that they owned us for like 5 years and for the entire time that we're participating in the show. So I'm like, well, this is what I'm signing up for and this is what I'm getting into. So whatever it comes with, this what's going to happen. So here I am, just as crazy as everybody else.
I signed a lot of faulty contracts that year.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you should have had a lawyer like at your side 24/7.
Lease? Sure. Oh, proposal for $25,000 to break lease?
Right. You know what? It worked out. You have great friends.
It's all fine now. Yeah.
You got your boo. You got your salon. So
no regrets.
If it only costs you $100,000 to be where you are today, then I'll let you pay it again.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
That was separate contracts. No, divorce does not cost that much. Thank God.
Yes. Good. Clarify.
That was only like $2,300.
I'm spreading a lot of fake rumors this week. So divorce does not cost $100,000 through Married at First Sight.
Oh yeah, someone on the listening to the podcast and be like, "Oh my God, I'm never getting married." It could,
your assets,
depending on your assets. I mean, in our contract, actually, I think that was one of the benefits of it. Is not that we would have had an issue like us on this podcast with that, but it does say like everything that you come into this process with is yours, and that you have to split your gifts up amicably. So
that's why you got to keep Hank.
I couldn't go for Clint in his Beamer.
You know, it's too bad because
dang it,
Clint's doing pretty well for himself. So maybe you can renegotiate that contract.
Maybe he'll let me borrow one of his cars right now since I still can't open my door.
Gina,
what's the update with your car?
What is going on with your car?
Oh, well, I did finally find a shop today, but I was looking into buying a new car last week, and then it just did not work out. Just part of the reason we booked a cruise, because I was not having a fun day, and I got really excited about this car, and then we were like, no, we can't do it. But it's fine. One of my clients ended up coming in clutch yesterday, and she was like, you should call Tommy, this guy that I used, he's amazing. And he literally made it feel like a piece of cake. So after like talking to 6 or 7 different body shop companies, he was just like, yeah, cool. Like, totally easy. So
shout out Tommy.
Yeah.
And your client too.
So you're getting the car fixed is what it sounds like.
I am getting the car fixed. Yeah.
Well, don't you hit anything else when you get that car fixed. You drive very careful.
Fingers crossed, guys. It's bad news.
We want to put you back in driving school, Gina.
I know. I did tell my manager the other day, I was like, I tend to hit things like right when I'm leaving, like right when I get into my car. Not when I'm like pulling in somewhere. I'm already like, I'm focused and everything. But right when I'm leaving, I think I just need a few more minutes to like sit and focus. Maybe do like a little prayer, a little woosah, listen to a song, just like relax and be like, okay, I'm ready to go. I feel like Clueless.
Yeah, you probably just need to decompress for a little while.
Yeah, I don't need to start driving immediately because that's when things get hit.
Do you call people as soon as you get in the car, or do you wait till you're on the road?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you save your phone call and you do a little breathing and you think about where you're going, get on the road, and then make the phone call.
That's a good idea.
Need you safe.
Maybe I just try to stay off the phone in the car.
Yeah, I mean
It's hard.
You
It's
love
hard for
the
me.
phone car.
I love the phone car. Car phone? Do you guys ever have car phones?
Oh my God, the best. Well, my mom did. I have
Your parent? Yeah, your parent. We didn't. We're not that old. Please.
I was going to say, Nicole, whose car are you driving with the car phone?
My mom did. In her Burgundy, I think it was a Nissan Sentra, and she had a car phone, and I would always play on it and be like, I'm on the phone as she was driving, and I would hit the big buttons because I loved how it felt when you pressed
They're
them.
so big. Those phones are so big.
Even plane phones. I was thinking about that yesterday or whenever I was on the plane. I don't even know anymore. But remember plane phones? And it was like $10 a minute. And I always used to beg my dad to call someone just to say I was on a plane. And he was like, no, we're not. We're not doing that.
I don't think I ever saw this because I didn't fly till I was like 17 or 18.
Oh, I'll find a picture for you. You'll see how cool they were. It's just a giant phone on the plane. Like you would call someone from the plane.
Well, my girls at the salon were born in like 2001 and 2002.
Not like that.
So, you should have heard us this weekend. Me and my client, well, it was Leanne's client, but I like passed her along. So I was like in there hanging out with them and we started talking about Alanis Morissette, which I've been jamming ever since on Jagged Little Pill.
Oh, best album.
But Leanne was like, who? And so we kept playing her songs and she'd be like, I don't know it. And we were like, you need to know it. You need to know it. It's such a good album. But yeah, I mean, that album came out in 97. Leanne was born in 2001.
That's upsetting.
She wouldn't have known.
I want you to ask Leanne her stance on socks, because did you know that we're not allowed to wear ankle socks anymore? That make us look old.
Well, what kind of socks are you supposed to wear?
Like crew socks, I guess.
Like big one, like tall socks?
I guess in between like ankle and calf socks. But the crew socks are apparently a sure sign that you're a millennial, which I don't really care if people know I'm a millennial, except I did hear this one teenager refer to me as that woman over there. I was like, excuse me, I am barely 20. I am not a woman.
We're in the airport in D.C. and Boo had on it was either him with the Ole Miss hat or this kid walked up beside us that had something Ole Miss on. Anyway, one of them had something Ole Miss on. So they're like, oh, you go to Ole Miss? And the kid's like, yeah, I'm in grad school there. And we're like having a conversation and we're like, oh, are you visiting someone here? You know, going back and forth, talking about Ole Miss. And then we're like, okay, well, have a good day. Or no, I asked him a question. He was like, yes, ma'am.
No.
And I was like, oh, what did you say?
Man, y'all need to face it. We are in our early mid-30s.
I am barely 20.
I'm in my late 30s. I'm 37, Kirsten.
Listen, we do not want to accept the fact that we are early and mid-30s and late 30s, but we are. I mean, we do look like we're 20, 5, 26, in our late 20s.
I got my PRP done last week.
I was going to ask you about that. I have to go for my one yearly touch-up because I did it a year ago.
Is it PRP or PRFM? Isn't that the same thing?
I think PRFM is the treatment, the under-eye treatment, but the PRP is the blood. I just made that up, but it's PRFM.
Yeah.
But she does take my blood.
Yeah.
And then puts it back under my eyes.
Kirsten, you're the nurse.
No, that makes me nervous. No, I just know because one of my friends, she gets it. So I think the PRP is the blood too.
Platelet-rich plasma is what PRP stands for. Mm-hmm. So then PRFM might be
like the treatment
procedure.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It's really not scary, and it's cool when she takes your blood.
Seems like it's scary. They tried to do that. I was like, no, we're just going to do the glow treatment.
You don't need it though, Kirsten. You look like you sleep 9 hours of peaceful sleep every night. Like I've never seen you have a bag under your eye. And
That is so true, Kirsten. You always look extremely well rested.
Well, I wish. Some nights I do, some nights are not so rested.
well, you don't look it.
Oh, I sleep like a good 8 to 9 hours a night.
Yeah.
Every night I do.
I try to do 7 to 8 hours for sure.
I have to have that. If I sleep less than 8 hours, I am grump.
Me too. I'm so cranky. I'm like, I need to feel my best and be able to perform my best every single day. So if I get less than that, like if I sleep 5 or 6 hours, I'm not a nice person.
No.
I used to be a bad sleeper. Like before I got married, really, I would sleep like 4 or 5 hours a night. I've been on every single sleeping pill, natural, prescription, anything you could think of, I've tried. And then honestly, I think all it took was getting married and just having someone there to help with the thoughts that were running through my head, because now I still have trouble sleeping sometimes, but I can fall asleep no problem.
Hashtag security.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen something about that before, Nicole. I don't know how true it is, but they did say people who have partners sleeping beside them, you sleep better. So I am glad you're getting better rest.
Chris doesn't even usually fall asleep next to me because he still thinks he's a teenager and needs to play video games until 1 a.m. But just knowing he's there helps me sleep. And usually Coda is up at like 6 a.m. to be fed. So I have to get to bed early. But sometimes I get really into my nighttime books and I'm up until like midnight or 1 a.m. just reading. But
what are you reading right now?
Well, I finished 2 books while I was on vacation. It's 2 books as part of a trilogy, but the 3rd book doesn't come out until next year. So now I'm really bummed because I should have just waited. Now I need to know what happens and I have to wait. But I've been, really into that like fantasy genre recently. So it's 2 books in that same genre, but by a different author. Her name is Lauren Roberts, and the books are Powerless, Reckless, and I think the 3rd one is Fearless, and it comes out in April next year.
I'll put you in a book club with my niece.
Some of these might not be age appropriate for her.
Well, you should see these books she's reading. We went up to visit, and I swear they're like over 1,000 pages.
Yeah. The last series I was reading, those were like 1,000-page books.
Yeah. My brother said she sits there, like, during like when most kids would watch their iPads, like breakfast and stuff, she'll sit there and read. I'm like, yes, you keep that up and you will be a millionaire later. Keep reading.
Well, I'm not a millionaire and I read 1,000-page books all the time. But
did you your whole life?
My whole life. I've always been a reader.
But you are very smart.
You are.
Thank you.
You are.
And like super efficient, so that makes sense that you've been reading your
I
life.
don't read like self-help books or any. I'm not even really into like biographies or.
That's me. That's what I read.
I like any kind of fantasy, but not necessarily the fantasy genre. More just something that's so outside of my own life, like a fantasy or a crazy romance, or even like a lot of murder books, which hopefully will never be relevant to my life. But just anything that I don't find relatable, because I find it's like an escape from every day. I don't really want to read things that remind me of my own life because I have my own life. So
I read a book a long time ago, and it was a romance book, and you can get lost in the pages because it's almost like watching a movie, but you're reading a movie and you're like visualizing what's going on as you're reading, and you're like, oh my gosh, and you can't stop turning the page. So I said that I was going to get back into reading.
especially if they're steamy.
Oh, yeah.
Bae likes the murder books. I like Bridgerton.
Yes.
I like both. There's both somewhere.
I know.
in there.
We actually just said, we were like, should we start going to bed a little bit earlier and reading for like 30 minutes? Because we typically watch TV to fall asleep. We watch 2.5 Men literally every night.
I never watched that show.
It's so funny. You've got to start it. You have to. It's the best show ever.
Even
It's
once
hilarious.
Ashton Kutcher starts.
No, it's not as good with him, but he's only in like 1 or 2 seasons, and there's like 6 or 7 before him.
Okay.
It's just, you would love it because it's witty.
Well, that's like us with New Girl.
It's like really witty. It's like witty, sarcastic. It's more sarcastic. Like it's funnier than New Girl. I tried to get Boo to watch New Girl. It is. It's funnier.
Than New Girl?
Yes. Yes. You have to watch it.
Well, I'll give it a shot because now that Love Island's over, our TV viewing is very sparse.
Give it a chance. We watched it all and we're watching it again.
This website had ruined, it was like a spoiler alert, and it told me who won on Love Island because I didn't get to watch all of it. And so I was like, oh, well, now I don't have to watch the rest of it because they spoiled it for me. Thanks for spoiling it. Great job.
Well, if you were watching it nightly like the rest of us, there would be
Okay.
no opportunity for spoilers.
I know. Sad to say. Sad to say.
This was like the most watched season, I think.
Yeah, it was.
I know. Jasmine came in today and she was like, I'm so salty. She was like so mad that this season like popped off and hers didn't.
Well, she should come on our podcast.
She said she would. We just need to think of our date.
Yeah, because I have a lot of questions about Love Island, especially now that the season has ended. So
Maybe the next time we decide on our next recording date, she can come on and be a special guest, and we can just reach out to her once we have a date and time.
And I want to reach out to my barbecue showdown bestie.
Kirsten and I need to watch that first.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I asked some people have they watched it, and they said that they have. I was like, Gina, tell me about this show.
It's like cooking. Like, I mean, you have to enjoy. I mean, we all enjoy cooking. I think you'd like it.
Mhm. I love cooking shows too.
Oh, you'll like it then, Kirsten. It'll make you want to go smoke a pork butt or something.
With that, our weekly show recommendations for this week are our 2.5 Men and what is it? The Cooking Showdown,
The barbecue
showdown, and
it's all about meats, like roasting, smoking. Some of them they do over an open fire.
You look like you're drooling a little bit.
Why did it sound real? Oh my gosh, Jenny.
She's drooling. So there you have it. We have some show recommendations, our beauty treatment recommendation, which is PRFM, and our book recommendation, which is The Powerless Trilogy by Lauren Roberts.
Okay, maybe I'll start it. Do you have the first book? Can you send it my way so I can start? I just want to read a 1,000-page book. I've never done it.
This one is not 1,000 pages, but the last series I was reading were 1,000-page books. So that might be the one that your niece was reading. Remember, I came into the salon and you were both there and I had a giant book. It's that series. But this other one is like only 600 pages. So I read 2 of them.
Only.
And then I started another book called Book Lovers, which seems like cutesy, romancy, very beach read, but I didn't get to it on the beach. But I'm going to read it at home.
What quantifies a beach read?
I think of a beach read as something really light and fluffy, like not a lot of...
Like murder? Not murder.
Not murder, not a huge plot. It's kind of like a Lifetime Christmas movie in a book.
Okay.
But not about Christmas because it's a beach read.
There are actually like rooms on cruises that you can go and read. I saw that on there too. And I'm like, that's kind of weird though, because wouldn't you want to be like facing the water in reading?
And like you're just sitting in a library?
Yeah, kind of.
The water, they don't have like the windows in the room, in the reading room?
No, it's like an enclosed room, like a little library.
That's weird to me.
Yeah.
Maybe you just send your kids there if you get annoyed. You're like, go to your room and read.
They have like a kids club. Like things get freaky.
He said he was going to drop me off there on his way to the casino.
He is hilarious. Y'all are funny. Y'all
I was like, drop me at the spa.
right. Even that was not included. That's additional. I saw that too. It's like a lot of things are included on the trip, on the cruise, and then some things you just pay additional for.
Some things aren't, like beverages.
But you can also buy liquor duty free for really cheap and cigarettes, but that's not relevant.
Liquor duty free?
Like you can buy it on the boat and in the islands, like it's cheaper and no tax, and then you could bring it back with you, and you're not allowed to drink it on the boat, so they take it away from you, so you can't drink it, but you can bring it back home with you. So you can get a fancy bottle of liquor for like half the price and no tax.
Got it.
It's like in the airport. Some airports have duty-free shops, and you can buy like perfume and like expensive luxury goods.
Yeah, I've seen those coming back from Europe.
Yeah, so you can do that.
I drink like one drink every 6 months, so I probably wouldn't, but they might.
Oh my God. I don't really drink that much anymore, but we were at this luau on our anniversary and I was like, let's get drunk. And Chris was like, okay. I had maybe 4 drinks and they were not even strong drinks because they were
hammered.
like at the luau. And I was the best kind of drunk because I wasn't like drunk, but I was just feeling so silly. I was spewing words that made no sense. Like some woman came up to us and she's like, oh my God, I know you. And I'm hugging her. I'm like, I don't know you, but I love you. Like, let's be best friends. And she was so happy.
Isn't that always weird when you see people in places that you didn't think that you would see them? Like, y'all are all the way in Hawaii 2 years later, and people are still recognizing y'all.
It is weird, but I think because we were so excited that it was our anniversary, so we were almost bragging. We were like, yeah, it's 2 years. And we were at a shared table because it was a luau. And the couple across from us, they were there for their 20th anniversary with their 4 kids. And I don't know, we were just chit-chatting. And I was like, well, it's only our 2-year anniversary, but we got married on TV as strangers because they didn't know who we were. So slightly drunk Nicole was like, well, I have to tell them. And they were like, oh, wow. Like, those shows are real? I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
I love this for you. Did you do any high kicks, Nicole, while you were there?
I didn't because I was in a dress and it was so windy that I was practically naked anyway because it kept blowing up. But
Well, we know you definitely had underwear on.
I did have underwear on. You know what? And I'm happy I did because I saw so much underwear at this luau because everyone's dresses were going up. It's like, good thing we all have underwear on. But I was making videos of what my Love Island like entrance would be. And I was like walking up this wooden plank thing and I was like, I'm a bombshell going to the villa.
Uh-oh.
I used to call it Nicole Party of One when I was single because I would just drink and like be so silly. So I was showing Chris what I was like before we got married and he still loves me. So I don't know how I even got there on this topic.
This story just makes me happy, and I'm so glad everybody had on panties too. But I had a great time just hearing this. I'm just sitting at home laughing so hard.
Gotta wear your panties.
Thinking about this bombshell walking around in Hawaii.
With her panties.
My panties. Those boys better watch out because when I get to the villa, they're mine.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Have you seen all the TikToks of like the women with their husbands and they're like,
Yeah.
hey, can we talk for a second? And he's like, what do you mean? And they sit down and they're like, what are you talking about? We're married.
Like, what would you do if a bombshell came in? Like, what's a bombshell? We are married.
And they like, it's like, he like plays the song.
We'll send them to you, Kirsten, because they are top-notch videos.
They're pretty funny. And she's like, the guy I want to couple up with. And the husband sits there like, yeah, she's about to say me. And then it's like some random guy that's not in the TikTok at all.
Please send them to me.
Not Bert.
Yeah. Damn, I thought she'd couple up with me.
And then it like tells them that they're dumped from the island. Like they act out the text and they're like, I literally live here. Do you want to go sit on the, what is it? Do you want to go sit around the fire pit? And then he's like, you mean our couch?
Oh my God.
People are very creative.
What was life like before TikTok? And how much work do these people put into a TikTok? I feel like that would take hours.
A long time. That's anytime I see TikToks that detailed, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. But how long did it take to make this?
Even the camera angles, like you don't think about it, but it's like they either shot that with multiple cameras,
A tripod, yeah.
or shot it like 3 different times to get multiple angles. Just a lot of commitment that I can't handle. So I just get drunk and make Instagram stories pretending I'm a bombshell walking into the villa.
I finally posted on Instagram yesterday for the first time in so long.
Your hair. Tell us about your new hair.
We watched the Slay Bae hair. Woo woo. Yeah, we're pumped. We've been using it for a couple months, but it's just something that's a little more luxurious than what we've been using. So we love it. The colors are pretty. They're all Nashville based. So like named, they're themed. So it's like our red extension is fancy, like Reba red.
Like Reba red.
We've got the Dolly. We've got a brunette color that's Jack and Coke. One that's a little lighter, it's sweet tea. So it's like all the colors. Honky Tonk Highlight. My personal favorite is the Belle Meade Blonde.
Your favorite isn't the Damn Gina?
Oh yeah, we have a Damn Gina. That was my team's doing. So we officially launched that this week, and we got all of our stuff for our hat bar.
What's a hat bar?
Oh my gosh, we ordered, like the auto trucker hats?
Yeah.
OTTO, like everyone loves these trucker hats, but
now they're going to be on our algorithm.
We've got I ordered a Cricut heat press.
Ooh.
And so we ordered a ton of patches, and you put the patches and you heat them to the hat. It's like a patch hat.
That's cool.
They've been having those at every influencer event I've attended. I have like 4 trucker hats in my closet.
Patches, yeah. So we have it at the salon. And I need to order some good game day patches too. But I made one yesterday, and my patch said "a little country, a little hood."
Oh, that's fun.
Gina, you're funny.
So we're having fun.
I want a hat and some highlights.
Come on.
Send us a picture of your hat later tonight.
I'll text it to you guys.
So it was great catching up with you ladies. I love to do these weekly chats, and thank you to all of our listeners for joining in and catching up with us.
Yeah, I'm just always appreciative of this time that I get to spend with you guys. And I'm super thankful that you guys out there are continuing to tune in with us.
Thank you all. We appreciate you all. And ladies, it's always a pleasure to catch up and see your lovely faces. So let's get ready to wrap this up.
Oh, yeah. So follow us on Instagram at D-List Diaries and let us know your thoughts. I love you, ladies.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
At the UPS Store, we ensure your small biz stands out with a variety of high-quality paper stock options, banners, posters, brochures, and more. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.